Good morning. Good morning. Good afternoon to those of you in the UK. Oof, where it is 30 degrees Celsius. I'm telling you, it's hot. And it's warm here. I've got two air conditioning units going full blast. It's crazy to start. Keep the heat down. Yeah, it's really surprising. All just out of a sudden, out of nowhere. Yeah. It's not as hot as the new Ferrari. Ew. Did you guys see Ferrari stock this morning in pre-market trading? Congratulations to Ferrari for designing one of the ugliest cars out there. Looks like an Apple mouse. How are you guys doing? How was the long weekend? Oh, it was not long enough. I could have used today off as well. That for a long weekend, it went quick. Oof. How's everybody doing? Yeah, let's. I should get to work, huh? Okay. Who wants to trade? Show of hands. And who wants to go to the beach? I need to get to Goodwood this year. I think Raj. Where's Raj? Oh no, he's taking his mom to the hospital for maintenance. I think I'm gonna get Raj to drive us down to Goodwood. Honestly, that new Ferrari is it's. I think I'm traumatized by the new Ferrari. Oh heavens. Okay, let's do two trades and then go to beach. What's going on, LC? Okay, I'm trying. I'm. Oh, sorry. I'm being lazy. I'm being lazy. Okay. You can tell when I'm being lazy because I'm avoiding this chart. One of our guys this morning, he went, JJ, I'm sorry, but I'm confused by this chart. And I said, don't worry, you're not the only one who's confused by this chart. The whole market's confused, right? So we had a long weekend. So we've got a couple of weird things, okay? Number one, right, long weekend. Number two, all-time high. Number three, gap. So, like a normal chart, it's like walking down the street and someone's walking their golden retriever, right? Here we're walking down the street and you look at this chart and it looks like someone tied their dinosaur up outside Starbucks, right? It's weird. It's just wrong. I'm gonna put in Sunday night's profile. So there's this nonsense on Sunday. There's yesterday's little shortened session, right? It's not short. It's actually gap long TBD. Because check this out, and then here's today, okay? And I'll show you what I mean. How you look at overnight inventory, there's the close from Friday. All of this is all electronic trading, right? This, all this crap here is electronic. So there's Sunday, Monday, Monday night, or today's Globex. So all inventory is long. In fact, it's gap long. Now, when we were on the session, right, if we're going to take all of this as inventory, the normal, right, the normal course of business, it is a P and a B, Matt. It is. And that's what scares me. This is like, well, I don't like this B profile, right? I don't like a B profile after a gap because that's accumulation. That being accumulated here. That's like walking down the street and someone's got a velociraptor tied up to the bike rack outside Starbucks. It's probably not going to end well. The thing is, we haven't filled that gap in Globex. We should. Now, H-O-U. We should fill that gap. But notice the quotation marks. Okay? Hey, Kevin, how's Cape Cod? Man, I wish I was out there sailing with you on the, like the Kennedys, you know? I need a friend who owns a boat. So we should fill the gap, okay? If this was a normal gap up over a long weekend, most probably we'll do this, right? But if this thing opens and it goes like this and it goes sideways, be careful, okay? If it's sideways and choppy like this, just be careful. Let the large traders work that area out. Now, this morning I did a video. I hope it's helpful. I'm doing animation videos now, right? Hopefully it's entertaining enough that people will watch it. Now, right? If it's choppy and tight, let's be careful, okay? I found that balance zone. Then we did a little dip down here, right? Balance. This is the sale. Right back up. Came back in, right back up. So there's bids down here at 35, right? This thing is bid at 35 even before it gets to the gap fill. I want you to be careful, not just shorting today, Howard. I want you to be careful trading. Now, there's a business reason why I want you to be careful trading. Days like this, mornings like this, we really don't know what exactly is going to happen. It's very, very unpredictable. I used to have this marketing manager, and he'd always say, JJ, the situation is nebulous. And we would laugh our asses off. But thinking of old Hugh, right? The situation is nebulous. It's not really clear. We've got a lot of information that's sort of contradicting itself. So what do you do when things aren't clear, Howard? Size down, trade less, okay? Right? Pretend Howard, yeah, no, just watch and trade only the A plus setup, right? Trade small. A plus setups only. Perfect, Matt. 2 point trades on TPO are beautiful. I made like 8 points today, just like really small, tiny, couple of contracts here in and out, and I think I've only taken two trades so far. Also, it's like so. If I didn't have these air conditioning units running, I would be, I wouldn't even be able to do a session. So the heat, because I'm not, I'm not used to it, because it never gets this hot here. The heat is making me do want to do nothing but find a nice tree and fall asleep underneath it. It's not exactly the best trading environment. Now you know why guys like Steve Cohen, they keep their trading room, like even in the summer, that SEC Capital trading room was like freezing, because they wanted the traders alert, so they froze the hell out of them, right? So let's just take a step back, and we really want to let the large traders tell us where the bids and offers are, right? Right? Let's be a little selective, right? Where's our Croy? Is she in here? Or is she at one of her famous pickleball tournaments? Are you around, our Croy? She might be busy, right? As she said, I'll quote her all the time because she's a retail trader who's actually a really smart person. And she said, we have to be picky about where we do business. Oh, good, a sell order. Nice. Beautiful, beautiful. Okay, so we are targeting 70, 75, 35 and 3/4, right? We finally are underneath VWAP, right? Nice. Right, there's a stop here at 35 and 3/4. The low of that V, and then the next stop would be 32. That's good, that's good, that's good. This is good. Okay, this is normal. We need nice normal price action. Now we're coming into this little cost basis here. So we'll look for bids. Now when we look for bids, why am I saying look for bids? Because there's going to be some buying as those trap shorts. They bought here and they bought here. Let's see where they buy here. Otherwise we're going to drop into the 32s. Right? It would be very healthy to fill the gap today. If we fill the gap, there's a couple of scenarios. One is to fill the gap and accept back into Friday's range. Right? This is nice. Market's now open. Where's the seller? Come on, show yourself, you rat bastard. Where are you now? When we get a green candle after a liquidation, I'm looking for the seller. I'm looking for that seller, right? They're right there at 38.5. So if you're shorting the 36, 37s, I'm short 36, just on 2, and I'm covering the 34s. 34 and a quarter, I'm on 1. I got 1 left. And I'm bid 30. Come on, fill me, you dirty run. 33.5 is where I got my last fill, right? So what I did was I looked, there's a seller. So I shorted the 36s. And when it dropped, as soon as it dropped, I had to start covering. Okay? Now, so we took that stop. Okay? So as soon as the market shows you a green candle, after a liquidation like we just had, what I want you to do is I want you to look and see where the seller steps in. Right? As soon as that seller steps in, you sell next to the seller. Now you gotta be quick, and that's okay. You'll get quicker. It's just practice, right? Now we're looking for the 28s. Come on, come on. So if you would see, now there's that green candle. Let's see where these bastards sell into it. Okay. See, they sold here and here. Let's see. The next candle is now 43 seconds. We got just starting that candle out. Just relax. Chill out and let's see where they sell, right? They got to sell into it somewhere, right? Now, where we get caught is if there's a big buyer and there's no seller at 33. If there's no seller at 33, right? Watch. There's also a standard deviation at 33. So if there's no seller at 33, then it's going to go all the way back up to 35. That sometimes does happen, okay? See the candles? Seller, seller. See if we can take out. Now, see the front running, that standard deviation at 33. Okay? You got to be tactical. You got to be really tactical. Right? If you miss a trade, don't worry. There's going to be lots of trading for us. There's going to be all sorts of real freaky stuff going on this year. I think you can already tell. See, there's a lot of covering there at 31. That is front running the gap, right? The gap's at 24. But if you had to cover 5,000 contracts, you'll buy them where you can, right? So now once that short covering's down, let's go for that 28. $24 is the gap fill. Yeah, inventory in normal markets, LC, we should normally get an inventory correction, right? Unless there's something really like extra crispy going on, right? Hang on a sec, gotta blow my nose. You know, like if we were long over the last week and we came in, we'd be selling the holy living crap out of this, right? Because our cost basis is under 75.11. So we'd be just pounding it out right now. Come on, fill the gap. Now, if you are short, if you're short, I messed up this 30 short. I didn't take it. I was looking for a 32 and I didn't get it. If you're short 30, put some buy orders here. Put some buy orders there. Because if it breaks that overnight low, it might do so only just for a second. It might be a quick. Now, sometimes we can fill the gap, find a bid, and rocket straight up. Sometimes we can fill the gap and drop. That's why you just want to be really careful. Right? Really nice and careful. See, they're front running the gap. Right? Now let's see where they sell into it. Right? If we clear the 29s, you'll be looking for a little tickle of that 31. You don't want to shorten the hole. See, look, see the cling the 29s? Just use the candles. Wait, 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 wait. It's okay if you miss the trade. Because what we're doing is they're going up, but we're going to take it and short it back down. But I want to see a seller. Right? I want to see that seller. Show yourself. Right? So there's a seller at 29. That's what I'm talking about. 30, 30 and a quarter. There's that 31. Now, if the sellers don't step in here, for the love of God, be careful because we could rocket all the way back up to 35. Okay? Right, so we're above that standard deviation. If we take out the 33s, be very careful. See how they caught us right here? Right? Nice if you're long, sell into this. If you're long, sell into this. You see how the supply just disappeared, right? Nice. Yeah, I missed that. Look below and fail of the overnight low. My brain's getting cooked in this apartment. Oof. Oh, come on. Nobody wants to sell it. No, you don't. I do, Moran. I do. In slower markets, they work. I have them on there, and I've noticed that they've been responsive. Right? I noticed they've been responsive. I shorted the 32s and covered 30 and 3/4. Not the greatest trade I've ever taken, that's for sure. Definitely not the greatest trade I've ever taken. It's okay, Baran. Don't worry if you're doing bad. If you were doing really well in this weird market conditions, I'd be like, I'd let you teach the class. Nobody's cleaning up in this market. It's really tough to trade. It's really hard to trade this market. It's not an easy market to trade. All-time highs are a royal pain in the ass to trade. Especially in the middle of these zones, your execution has to be so spot on. Right? And like I was waiting for a look below and fail of 24 and 3/4. Nope. Right? It's okay. Sometimes I can't trade either, right? There are times in this business where you're not in sync with the market or you're a little distracted. This is not a market that you can be distracted in. This is not a market that you can just kind of put on autopilot. It's a very tough market. So don't beat yourself up if you're having a hard time. Right? Every week up, I look at this thing and I'm like, oh, we're going to get some liquidation soon. Now here's the thing, you guys. If we futz around here, and I'm just saying because I'm seeing this thing bid a lot stronger than it should be, right? If we get above VWAP, be careful, okay? Ugh. LC, do you remember that time we had that 2 tick gap that didn't fill, and we had like a 400-point move off of it? Does anybody remember that? I can't remember. I've been doing this too long. I don't remember. I don't remember what year that was. Oh, Raj is good. He remembers these things. I don't know what year it was, but you guys remember that, right? We had a 2 tick gap that did not fill. And everybody shorted the crap out of the market by thinking, oh, it's only 2 tickets, it's got to fill, right? And next thing, we're up like 500 points on a 2 tick gap. And that's because this market doesn't have anything for sale. Guys, I was watching an interview on CNBC, and I don't watch CNBC as a rule. But does anybody remember Ron Barron? Ron Barron, he's the
We
guy
have
who,
a
when Tesla went to 1,000, right? He said he was never selling the stock. I'm gonna share his interview in the JJ commentary section. Where is it? Where is it? JJ News commentary. I want you to see how these guys who own stock. Yeah, this guy's running 50, he's running $55 billion, okay? So he's not a small player, right? He's not small change. $50 billion is a lot of cabbage, right? And he loves Tesla. He loves Elon, right? But it just goes to show you how some of these people are thinking. And if they never sell the stock, how the hell is the stock going to go down? You need people to sell stock for it to go down. If nobody wants to sell the stock, riddle me this, how's it going to go down? It's not. So everyone's so hyped about that SpaceX IPO, right? I mean, this guy's telling us that Starlink is going to be a $15 trillion company and it's going to be the internet. So when you have people with that kind of thinking, it's really, and they've got money and they've paid for their stock in cash, it's hard as hell to shake them loose, right? He sold stock for his investors, but he hasn't sold a personal share of Tesla yet. That's scary. Okay, we're above VWAP. Remember what I said. Now we're going to start coming into some interference here. When we get above, if there's no sellers at 41, if there's no sellers at 43, 44, right? Just be careful, right? Actually, Raj, it's the reverse of dilution. They're sucking supply out. Dilution is adding stock, penny stock style, right? It's okay. You just zigged when you should have zagged. Be careful here, friends, if you're shorting, right? I should have been long VWAP. Howard, if your VWAP is messed up, remember mine's anchored. It'll be messed up after a long weekend. Anchor it to last night's Globex. Okay? Anchor your VWAP at last night's Globex, not Sunday night. Okay, at least we have that 44 seller, thank goodness. Let's see how long they stick there for. 3 points, that's good, Howard. You're doing well, man. Just keep doing what you're doing. Keep doing what you're doing. If we clear 45, please be careful because we'll be up at 49.51 before you can say Jack jumped over the candlestick. Ugh. And that's why I'm looking at those standard deviations, Moran, because they have been there's been a seller there, right? Ooh. Waiting for the next setup. Let's see if we got that seller at 51. Who's this guy? Why don't you ever catch a move? I catch moves all the time. I'm a little slow today. Give me a frickin' break. My head feels like it's being cooked. Everyone's a critic, eh? Why don't I ever catch a move? What a putz. Okay, let's see what's our next move here. Seriously, eh? I know, I just looked at the comments. I don't usually look at the YouTube comments. There's always some putz who thinks he's like fucking Paul Tudor Jones. Little echo, little dipshit. Okay, we got a seller at 44. Don't fuck with me today, man. It's hot in here. I'm on the mode. I'll rip your fucking face off. Under 41, we'll go down to VWAP at 38. There's 38. Didn't catch a movie? There you go. 41 to 38. Under 35, we'll be looking at 33, and then this little area here at 31. Now that we've gotten rid of all of that, right, let's see if we can get back down and fill that gap. We still have not corrected inventory in any kind of meaningful fashion. A little bit of one, but not a meaningful one. That means getting down to the close. Choppy as hell here. Long 37. Got an offer out at 38, and a quarter of it doesn't get taken. I scratch. I need that offer to move above VWAP and able to get out of it. There's a 37 bid. There we go. Out one. Out the second at 39. Little scalp long. Little scalp long. Not much follow through, right? Not with a gap like this. Not a huge amount of follow through. Short 33. Short 34, 33. Bid 30 half. Covered one at 30 half. Covered the other one at 30 and 3/4. I was short 33. Not the best trade location. My stop would have been 35. I think I got lucky on that one. Volume Raj, 130,000 contracts in the first half hour. It's okay. Nothing really to write home about. So, first half hour, we're trading almost done. We have not filled the gap, right? What was our low? 25. The gap is 24. So, we're 1 point away from filling that gap, and it's sticky as hell. So let's give it another half hour and see if we can get down there. My biggest fear for the short sellers is just going sideways like this. If that happens, then buyers will step in because it's month end. With oil prices falling, well, I don't use words like bullish and bearish, right? The chart's telling us right now, KKP, that nobody needs to sell underneath 25 right now. Right? So I don't use words like bullish and bearish, but I do let the chart tell me that they don't need to sell because when you can't fill the gap, the longer time passes and that gap does not get filled, the worse it gets for the shorts. Right? And we're at all-time highs, right? I mean, the all-time high on, was it Sunday night, was up in the 75 70s. So, but that's Globex, so they don't count that. Right now, the open of RTH, that 75.45, they'll count that as the RTH all-time high. So if you want to consider that positive, yes. The fact that we can't fill this gap doesn't means that they don't need to sell under that yet. But the thing is, the day just started, right? The day just started. So be a little patient, right? I don't correlate markets, right? So I don't trade the ES based on the NQ and oil. I know some people do, but I find that incredibly, incredibly complicated. So what I like to do is just really focus on the order flow of this particular market. If I'm trading oil, I'll zone in on that. I don't trade oil, I don't trade NQ. Now the reason I don't is because I'm old and I like just trading one thing every day and knowing it really well. That way I know when to trade it, I also know when not to mess with it, right? And the ES is such a nice thick market that you can expand, you can size up. I have guys in my coaching program, like one of them did $1 million last year. He makes 4 or 5 grand a day. On good days, he makes 20, 30, 40, 50,000 a day. Not consistently, but he's always does 1,500 to 4,000 a day. And when he takes a loss, it's about 2 grand, and that's on a multi-million-dollar account. So he's not putting the whole account at risk. So what we do is we trade for income, right? Is it a weak low? Yes. So far, that's a weak low because it's at a very, very easily seen spot. And what does a weak low mean? A weak low means that if I came down there and I showed that area 5,000 contracts, it'd break. So if you show that area some size, it'll break. Right? So that is a weak low. That means that there's not enough size to break it. Right? Got a seller at 41. And this is that chop that I was talking about before the market opened. See what happened? We had a lot of people who were shorting thinking that that gap would fill, right? We all thought the gap was going to fill. We got so close that it was like a gimme but it didn't. So now the market people participants are a little confused. The gap didn't fill. We're like 10, 15 points higher right away. They're not crazy about buying it, but eventually they will. The more people realize that that gap doesn't fill, they'll start covering. And that's why we're getting this price action, right? Where's NQ now? Look at that. 30,000 NQ. I remember when NASDAQ was 5,000, it was a big deal. Look at that, eh? Amazing. I remember when the internet meltdown happened, the .com crash. They said the NASDAQ would never be over 5,000 again. Anybody old enough to remember that one? I mean, it was a quarter of a century ago. So, you guys, do you want to have, are there enough of you, do you want to have that session today at 11? Hey, Deuce, what's going on? Or do you want to do it tomorrow? What are you thinking? I was going to talk about understanding order flow and using your orders to tell you what the market's telling you. Maybe I'll do it tomorrow. I mean, you guys just came back from a tomorrow? Okay, let's do it tomorrow. Okay. We'll let you get back into the swing of things. Okay. So tomorrow, 11 o'clock. This way I don't overload people, right? It will be, yeah. We should usually do one. Um, we should always do one on a Wednesday, right? And thanks again for Ian bringing up slippage. This is slow and choppy. It will be recorded. Okay, what's next? It's almost coffee time. Yeah, that no gap fill is definitely a clue, ALC. Next structural stop is just under 75.49. See, and the problem with this is the price action is so slow. It seems choppy, right? It seems weak, but the candles tell the tale. Check this out, right? The lows just keep getting higher and higher. The bid is following the ask up, right? So that number one, no gap fill. Number two, higher lows on those candles, which means the bid is chasing the offer. It's like we're chasing the ice cream truck, right? Now we have sellers. Where's our seller? Right up here, that 48. Boy, oh boy. I'm sure that's already happening, Raj. I wouldn't doubt that that's already happening, my brother. That's the way this thing is trading. It feels like there's some buy-ins. It feels like, well, it's not like a forced buy-in. Uh, it's not like they recalled a stock loan, but the buy-ins are like, well, I'm short. Month end is 2 days from now, right? Like it's the same old story. Shorting this market into month end for the last 5 years has generally been a death wish. You know, it's just like no good comes from it. Ah, the half day doesn't count. Well, I mean, it might be reactive, Scott. But the thing is, the old guys who made the rule say that yesterday doesn't count. I'm always curious to see maybe there is a little bit of a reaction there. So I'll try not to discriminate. But oh hey, that seller stepped in right there. Right, that's why we draw these lines so we know where the seller's going to step in. Right, I really I hate trading all time highs. The problem is at all time highs, the people who are swing long, the large smart money that's swing long, they don't have any reason to sell, right? So I mean, if you're up, I mean, if you bought ES, right, even at the beginning of the month, right, if you bought ES at the beginning of May, under 7,300, you're up 200 points. There's just no reason to sell this thing, right? That's why it's having such a hard time shaking loose. We get a little inventory correction and another one, and all this does is it flushes out these poor cats, takes their stuff, flushes it again, and now when we get up here, there's nothing left to sell because all of that inventory between 36 and 45 has been flushed into the 28 bids off the open. And now that's why we just kind of creep up and nobody even knows why we're creeping, right? Yeah, I know you remove it from your chart, Elsie. For me, I generally ignore it until somebody goes, "Oh, hey, there's an offer there." I'm like, "Oh, okay." Right? Yeah. And that's another thing why markets are a little weird today. Because it's confusing to trade after a 3 day long weekend with a gap and that little session and things. That's why I tell people just to take it easy and kind of let the market set itself up, you know? There's always good trades, but we have to actually have the money to trade, so we have to really be careful in this market environment. You know, and once again, this market has an annoying habit of shutting off the supply just when everybody goes and gets short. This thing shuts supply off and makes it very difficult to trade. So thank goodness we have that 48.5 seller. Let's see if we can get any kind of a meaningful backfill here. Ugh. When it slows down like this, it's hard to trade. Definitely trap shorts at 45. Now that we're above that standard deviation, right, Moran? You see it too. Hmm. Not really calling out any trades here. I don't see anything clear just yet. A look above and fail of 52 or a look below and fail of 41. That's what I'd that's where I'd spend money. But right now, nothing just yet. You're trading it all? Well, your broker thanks you, Matt. Someone's got to keep the commissions rolling in, I tell you. Good for you. Stimulate stimulate that economy, my friend. It's a beautiful thing. Boy, those sellers are right there. Hey, look at that. If we build up enough orders, we'll be able to crack that. But right now, it's a little thin. A little thin. Oof. Now, if we get enough people short between 45 and 48, and they all go to cover at the same time, we'll crack that 48 half. But until then, nothing yet. Yeah, it is. It's a nice box there. Yeah. Oof. Anyone still awake? There's that break you wanted, Matt. There you go. Now let's see if we get any follow through short covering. And if we can take out 75.52, then obviously we'll be going into a 4 times cost basis. Well, that's pretty much it for today, huh? Let's see if we can move this thing into the singles. right? There should be resistance here. If we run out of supply, we're going to run this thing up into that 54 quarter. See you, Marcus. Keep at it. So this is what I was afraid of. Right? This is what I was not looking forward to. No gap fill. Found the bid. Straight back up. A royal pain in the butt. You smell a rug pull, William? I hope so. Let's hope your sense of smell doesn't let us down. Right? See, that's the problem in these markets. We don't get very many rug pulls. Not like small caps, right? Because small caps, there's always some animal like me waiting to hammer it who's got really cheap stock, right? The problem with these markets is you don't get the rug pull that you usually get. And that's what really screws up a lot of people. It's really hard getting a rug pull in this thing because the players are so highly capitalized. And I mean, all the inventory is priced here, right? So if you get enough people short underneath VWAP, underneath 44, and they added to it, you could see they were adding to the short here. Now they're all going to cover at the same time, right? We'll get a rug pull. It'll last for one candle on a minute chart. It's just not the same as it used to be. Go watch that Ron Barron interview, then see how you feel about shorting. Short selling is, it's a fool's game these days, right? You know? Short selling all-time highs as a position trader is just the kiss of death. Short selling, like nothing wrong with going short. Couple of minutes here and there, I call them hit and run trades. Nothing wrong with that, right? But position trading, oh my God. Trying to hold up, I mean, look at all the people who were position short yesterday. Not last, sorry, last week, yesterday. What am I thinking? Oh man, this heat's cooking my brain. Think of all the people who were position short going into that stupid long weekend. My goodness, they're just eating dirt right now, right? Who position trades short? People with a lot of money. People who have a lot of money, bum hunters. I love that name, right? People who have a lot of money and really, really, these guys who have like 100, 200 million dollars that they're trading with, and they always hire some analyst who can't trade his way out of a wet paper bag, and he tells them to build a short position. Those are the kind of people who do, right? It's still a thing. There's a lot of money out there. There's a ton of money out there. It's amazing how much money is out there. All you got to do is talk to the private equity guys who are rolling up yoga studios. Right? There's so much money and it's looking for a home. It's a great time to be doing deals. It's a great time to be alive because you can sell people anything right now and they'll buy it. Yeah. Okay, my friends, we're going to wrap it up here. You want to give it another couple of minutes? Let's see if we get into those singles. Yep, we're creeping. We're creeping. Can we print the 52 and a halves? Not just yet. Well, there's somebody who's trying to buy some size at 51 and a quarter. It's a lot. There's like 3,000 contracts there. Almost. Ooh. Is that off or lift? Now it's starting to get frisky. There we go. See, they're all trying to cover, right? Good, there's a seller at 52. See, the thing is, when these people have a lot of money, sometimes they think they're greater than the market or they're too big for their britches. How can you tell that they're trying to cover? Jonathan, okay, little thing here, right? The only person who's going to be buying 1,000 contracts at 75.51 after a long weekend, right before month end, is a short seller who's stuck. It's just the business. So if you go on my X, you'll see I did a little video this morning about how to know who's involved and how to trade. And that just comes like, I mean, I've been doing this for 34 years, right? I'm old as dirt. I've been doing this since Christ was a cowboy. So nobody's buying all-time highs with size unless they're in trouble. They're not buying it because they want to, they're buying it because they have to, right? And that's why short covering, it doesn't really last unless it adds more. See, if you can hold something steady, right? If we can hold something steady here, if they can do that for like 20 minutes, it'll bring in buying. But if we start losing that bid and we start losing that 45 bid, we'll get another move down, which will be healthy, right? It'll be healthy. Whew. I hope it's not this hot tomorrow. My brain's a little cooked. Thanks, everyone. Oh, I've got a bunch of old sayings. Hunters, I've been around for a long time. I'm an old man. Yeah, it must be warm in Chicago, eh? Jeez. See you, Dave. Get some rest down under there. Thank you, everyone. We'll be back tomorrow at 7:45 a.m., 7:30, 7:45 UK time, which is around 2:30 in the morning, New York time, 2:45. My voice is coming back now, so I'm going to start trying to do longer sessions, and that's why I've cut the sessions a little short. But I think I sound almost normal again. It's been a while. A little bit. It's still a little messed up, but it's a little bit better. Thank you, everyone. Be safe out there, okay? We'll see you tomorrow morning. Drop by to tradingsyndicate.org. We've got some cool AI stuff going. And if you need any help, if you need some coaching, reach out. I'm around, okay? Thanks, everyone. Appreciate you guys. Bye for now.